Welcome to the National Commission for the Certification of Crane Operators, Riggar Level 1 Practical Exam. If there is anything in this video you do not understand, please request clarification from the practical examiner. The NCCCO Riggar Level 1 Practical Exam consists of the following tasks. You will be given 60 minutes to complete the entire exam. Timing will begin when the practical examiner gives you the indication to start Task 1. You will be given credit for only the portions of the exam that you successfully complete. No credit will be given for tasks that have not been completed. While you wait for your opportunity to test, you will be provided time to read the descriptions of the tasks you need to perform. The test site coordinator is responsible for setting the test schedule for the day. Once you've completed all of your testing for the day, you must leave the test area. If you wish to retest, you will be required to re-register and pay the test fees again. The only personnel allowed in the test area are those who are actively involved in the administration of the practical exam. You are under the supervision of the practical examiner and required to follow their instructions at all times. Before the beginning of each task, the examiner will read a set of instructions that outline what must be accomplished during that task. If at any time you do not wish to continue the test, you should notify the examiner. By choosing to not continue with the test, you will have disqualified yourself from taking the exam at this time and will be required to sign to that effect on the candidate score sheet. Task 1. Pre-use rigging inspection. This task is intended to evaluate your ability to inspect rigging equipment and determine whether the equipment should be removed from service based on ASME B30 and federal OSHA criteria. At the examiner's indication to start, proceed to the table and begin to inspect the 10 rigging slings and hardware in front of you. Select all the items that meet federal OSHA or ASME B30 removal from service criteria and move them off to one side. Once you have completed the inspection process, say "Done" to the examiner to indicate that you have finished. The examiner will then evaluate the selections you have made. Task 2. Rigging hitches. This task is intended to evaluate your ability to perform basic rigging hitches. For this task, you will be provided with a 5-foot web sling, a 5/8" shackle, and a PVC pipe with a machine eye bolt. When necessary, use the PVC pipe or the machine eye bolt as your anchor point. At the examiner's indication to start, you will be directed by the examiner to demonstrate 6 different hitches. The examiner will ask you to demonstrate each hitch, one at a time. As you complete each hitch, say "Done" to indicate when you are ready for the examiner to evaluate the hitch. Task 3. Rigging connections. This task is intended to evaluate your ability to rig a load in a specific configuration using specific slings and hardware. At the examiner's indication, you will choose 3 task assignment cards, one of each color, for the 3 rigging tasks you will perform. These cards will detail the types of slings, hardware, and hitches that you are required to use. The examiner will ask you to demonstrate each task assignment card configuration one at a time. You will be given 1 minute to review the available rigging equipment for this task. The rigging has been inspected and is approved for use. At the examiner's indication to start, gather and assemble the rigging materials that are required to complete the assigned task. You will then rig and suspend the aluminum square tube from the attachment point provided, as described on the task assignment card. Make sure the top of the load is in the top position before having the rigging evaluated. If you are directed to use hardware that normally requires a torque wrench for final tightening, you are only required to secure the hardware to finger-tight condition for the task. Please note that when applying slings, the identification tag should be kept out of harm's way to avoid damage to the tag. When you have completed the rigging configuration, say Done. You will be scored on your ability to select and apply rigging slings and hardware correctly in 3 separate scenarios. After completing each rigging configuration, you will be instructed to disassemble the rigging assembly before continuing on to the next rigging task assignment card. Task 4. Basic Knots. This task is intended to evaluate your ability to properly tie knots. At the examiner's indication to start, you will be asked to tie 5 different knots using a braided rope or multiple braided ropes of different sizes. When it is necessary, use the PVC pipe or the machine eye bolt as your anchor point. Tie each knot one at a time and say Done when you are ready to have the examiner evaluate the knot. After the exam, please do not ask the examiner to review your score sheet or discuss your performance because they are not permitted to do so. Your results will be sent to you within 12 business days after receiving your score sheet. If you have completed all of your testing for the day, you must leave the test site. Otherwise, you should return to the pre-test briefing area. Thank you for participating in the NCCCO Riggar Certification Program.